derailed this show by cutting the stream, which I just noticed we're not live. So there's no telling when we went out. I'm assuming we finished the Collector's Corner segment.
We did because etc. so forth and so on.
Was talking about his game collection, right? But
because he saw the closet.
Now, is this going to be a separate thing, or is it going to be tagged to the other thing?
It's going to be separate.
Well, great. So this will be part 2.
Part 2. Now I'm changing the title.
Great. Chris, you're a menace.
Sorry about that.
And on that note, I think it's time for the news.
Hold on. I'm titling. Hold on.
Well, I'll give you this one.
No, that's not the news music, Rich.
All right.
Transition music.
It's time for the news. All right. So for all you Xbox Game Pass users, what happened to the feed? That's a Chris question.
I feel like Chris destroyed it, but we're back.
I destroyed it.
He fast-fingered it when he came in.
Transitioning from my phone back to the computer may have...
He fast-fingered it. Yeah. It happens.
But we're still interested in your video game collection, so let us know. We're going to start with the news, but jump on in. So, for you Xbox Game Pass guys, the long-awaited sequel to Frostpunk 2 is going to drop for Game Pass on release day.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You don't sound too enthused, Rich.
I've never heard of it.
Resident gamer.
I didn't play the first one.
Maybe etc. has something to say about this.
Yeah, we're back.
No, she's saying because. Wait, we hit 1.7 subscribers. 1,700 subscribers. Right. Connie said she's glad we're back. See, I'm happy people knew that we're not done with the show.
Yeah. Maybe we should cut all the shows in half and we'll get more subscribers. Okay. DC Comics has said in relation to Free Comic Book Day, which happens the first Saturday of May every year, yep. Buckle up because it's going to be the biggest year yet.
They're going to give away a lot of comics? That's
what they're saying.
Oh.
A lot of titles.
Etc. Thank you for your forgiveness and for your jealousy.
Okay. Marvel Comics, Drax, the character Drax the Destroyer, is getting his soul back. For those of you who may not know, Drax has been missing his soul in the comics forever. But he's getting reunited with his soul, Arthur Douglas, and they are going to reunite in the comics.
His soul is Arthur Douglas?
The soul of Arthur Douglas is a soul. Drax is a soulless being. His soul is tethered to his altered personality, Arthur Douglas, and they're reuniting in the comics.
Okay.
So Drax is getting his soul back. Jon Favreau is set to direct a new Star Wars film entitled, or loosely entitled for now, The Mandalorian and Grogu.
Look,
it's about
I'm
time.
Hyped.
It's about time. We don't give Jon Favreau enough love. Like, we talk about Robert Downey Jr. and Kevin Feige. Him with his indie film director mentality is what made Iron Man what it is. And then you see the work he's done with Star Wars. So I'm happy that he's like going to direct a Star Wars film. It's about freaking time, if you ask me.
This next bit of news is for Rich, who has left the building.
Well, let's proof of life. Yeah. He'll be back.
So I'll skip that bit and go to the next one. Hot Toys has just revealed its new 1/6 scale toy for Back to the Future DeLorean, and it looks incredible. I'm talking incredible.
Like, you honestly can't buy it unless you have like a coffee table type of platform to put somewhere to put it.
I would love that. That's right up my alley.
They have an 89 Batmobile for Hot Toys. You literally need a platform the size of your coffee table.
How much is it though? Is the question. It's dough, right?
That thing is like.
Well, Hot Toys tend to be expensive, and the detail on this DeLorean looks.
I'll tell you right now, it's probably got to be a couple grand.
It's from Back to the Future 3, the DeLorean.
Oh,
Rich,
I did see that. It has a weird train wheels on it, right?
I noticed the train wheels, but it's quite possible. Yeah, it looked great though. While Lawrence is looking up the price, Funko, they are finally bringing us the characters from Galaxy Quest.
Oh, okay, that's pretty dope.
They look fun.
Okay, yeah. I realized that my headphones are really loud. I heard them in the bathroom. I heard you call my name in the bathroom. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Rich, you always hear me call your name in the bathroom.
Hey, pause. And another news. HBO has confirmed that production of another Game of Thrones prequel series has started. The series is titled The Night of the Seven Kingdoms.
So is it when the Seven Kingdoms were
being formed, or
prequel to what? I guess prequel to the House of the Dragon.
Well, let's speculate this. The Seven Kingdoms. It's probably a prequel to Game of Thrones and a sequel to House of Dragons. Because House of Dragons is when there is no Seven Kingdoms. They're all united under their rule, under Targaryen's rule.
Oh.
So it's after the. Is it after the Mad King died? I forget when they separated.
So does that?
No, I'm wrong. The Seven Kingdoms existed, I believe. No, I'm wrong. Seven Kingdoms existed. Targaryens flew in on their dragons and conquered them and made it all Westeros. But before they came in, they were like 7 independent kingdoms.
So it's a prequel to the prequel, probably.
How it was before the Targaryens came.
And it's going to be shown. Every episode is going to time jump about 100
I swear, I'm done. Yo, the DeLorean's not too bad. It's $849.
All right. And it looks
for Hot Toys. It's hot. Like the figures.
I could buy a mean remote control car for that price.
I bet I said that with a straight face. It's like,
right, something that actually moves. Yeah. But this one might
be able to get in this because it's so big.
Yo, it looks incredible though. Did I say that yet?
That's also what she said.
Hey, yo. So, anyways, so the writer of the original X-Men movie has gone on. We're doing shuffleboard here. Has gone on record to say that yes, Magneto's psychic blocking helmet was something they invented for the films and did not exist pre-movie.
Really?
That's what I said. I said, really?
I thought it said that on like Marvel Series 1 cards or Series 2 cards.
So his helmet is just cosmetic?
Yep.
Oh, nice. That's a nice fashion statement.
Yeah.
Okay. When do you think we'll get the next book to Game of Thrones?
Ice and Fire series.
Oh no! Like I honestly don't think we will. I think George is like, how long has he been writing this book?
Did he never drop the last one?
He never finished it. He's still working on it. It's been like since the beginning, I feel like, of Game of Thrones. I don't know. I don't know.
That shows you what I know. Speaking of toys, Earthworm Jim is getting an action figure series, and I'll tell you, those toys look groovy.
Can you
tell us the original toys?
Can you tell us who's making who's? I feel like that's a NECA. Feels like NECA would do that.
I didn't think it was NECA. I didn't notice that, but NECA is dropping a Halloween themed toy set where it's all these characters dressed in Halloween costumes. It look pretty funny.
Or it could be the Reaction series.
Yeah.
Which supposedly they're coming out with O-ring figures, as opposed to the regular, the terrible articulated figures. They come out with actually O-ring G.I. Joe style figures coming up.
Well, that's nice. You just swap out the parts like you used to then.
It looks like it's by Premium DNA. Man, this figure's $54.
But it looks good.
For Earthworm Jim.
Come on, you guys didn't play that video game?
Yeah, I did, but I'm not paying $54 for Earthworm Jim toy.
54. I got 49 over here.
Well, I'm on Big Bad Toy Store, so I think they might be upcharging a little bit, but still.
All right. Well, in other toy news, McFarlane is dropping a whole slew of unmasked Batman figures from the films in one more attempt to bankrupt Lawrence.
Yeah. No, I'm not getting that Bale figure. Bale unmasked. I don't need it. I don't need a lot of the unmasked figures because he didn't really take his mask off too much in the movies. So I feel like a part of my display reminds me of the movies I'm watching. But if he drops Affleck unmasked, dang it! Affleck unmasked. Yo, I bought the freaking Ben Affleck Batman figure that dropped this week. Yeah. I already got 2 of him in the Justice League armor. Like I don't need 3 Batflecks. Yeah. But
now that is a figure I would like to put a wash over. As a matter of fact, I still want to get my hands on your Mr. Freeze.
You're not touching my Mr. Freeze, Jack. Etc. said we need a banjo. I don't even know what that is.
Kazooie. Remember
Banjo and Kazooie? No, he wasn't a gamer like that.
No, he wasn't a gamer. How about a John Wick? I think there is. There is a John Wick action figure series. Sure Jack actually destroyed one of his John Wick figures to make a Clark Kent.
He did.
He definitely did.
This is actually John Wick from the second movie. I took the John Wick figure and I made myself a Clark Kent.
Damn, Jack, that's official.
It kind of is. You just need to find glasses. You know what?
Yeah.
Jack, hold on.
No, he unplugged and everything.
I mean, he's gone. Are we supposed to just wait for him?
I guess.
Yeah, I know what he's grabbing.
What's he grabbing?
Thank me later.
He's grabbing his Clark Kent. His superpowers Clark Kent.
Oh, he's yeah. Well, that
let me see if I'm right.
DC
can't find the hole, Rich.
Just keep poking around. You'll find it eventually.
Wow. The DC Secret Identity figures are pretty cool though because they take the mask on and off.
Jack,
that's cool.
Jack,
his
Donatello figure is still in stores. It's probably on the cheap, and his glasses
do come off, which mine already lost.
Off.
How big is that?
They're pretty big.
What Superman head do you have on that guy?
This head is from
Let me see that head.
2005 figure.
What the head do?
I maybe we'll try to print something for you, Jack, if anything.
Jack, you said 2005. So let's say he looks similar, closer to this guy, maybe?
He's a little smaller than that one. That's a good looking figure, though.
He's smaller.
Yeah. This guy's like a 6-inch scale.
This is 6-inch-ish.
All right, well, maybe it's...
You have that... Don't you have that 2-pack for that Superman Batman 2-pack that had the shield? Because I think I have the same 2-pack you got.
The shield?
Yeah, they had the shield that went on their forearm. It came with a Superman...
Oh, yeah, but it's not that small.
That's 6-inch.
Those are like tiny. McFarlane is 7-inch.
Yeah.
2 more bits of news here, gents.
Wait, would you say he's similar, like closer in size to this guy? Ish?
Well,
just put the glasses on.
I mean, it's all pretty close. He's a little smaller than that. But
they got that wide turtle head.
He's pretty close to like Marvel Legends size.
Etc. So on and so forth. Says, what about a John Wick action figure series?
Jack, it's on the screen, Chris.
That's literally what's
you don't even watch the show when he's on the show.
Wait, I'm reading it. I don't want to ignore etc.
We already covered it. That's why Jack.
Why we're talking about John Wick right now.
That's literally what's happening right now. Yeah, this outfit used to be black.
It's too big.
It's too big. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for trying though. I'm sure I can get on eBay and find something for like $5. Probably get a whole pack of small glasses. Speaking of Marvel Legends, though, Marvel Legends is dropping a 2-pack, and this thing looks cool. It is of Patch Wolverine and the Gray Hulk as Joe Fixit.
Oh, the tuxedo joint.
The tuxedo joint.
Etc. Yeah, you're getting a lot of attention. And you deserve it.
Yeah.
I'm not messing with Marvel Legends. They're just too expensive for what you're getting. They're just too expensive for what you're getting.
I'm not gonna.
The Power Man and the Blade figures. They look all right.
That Blade's got
Wait.
the face only a mother can love.
But he has the fangs. Actually, the Blade is right here.
Marvel Legends regular figures are like $35.
Yeah,
regular.
That's probably true.
That 2-pack is probably like.
We open it right now. Okay.
Have an unboxing going on.
How much was that?
$22.
Well, yeah, because you found the deal on Amazon, but in stores, some of them,
Yeah.
You have to like the Marvel Legends aesthetic. Like some people hate McFarlane.
I'm not a big Marvel Legends guy. The quality is good, but I just got Power Man and Blade for the affirmative action collection.
He's tripled down on it.
I know what you do. I know exactly what you're talking about, Chris.
Exactly.
When these guys knock on your door,
you know they mean business.
Hey,
why is everything always within arm reach for Lawrence? I still don't understand that.
This might be a real tiny office. You never know.
And the last bit of news.
Have you?
Yes, etc. I drove
to Ollie's.
Yes. So I'm a member of a bunch of G.I. Joe groups, and there's an Ollie's half an hour from me, and I went there and I bought a couple toys. But it's one of those things. It's kind of like a Ross. You gotta check it every week. But some guys are making some incredible finds at Ollie's. Mm-hmm. So there's one in Denton over here that I go to that I check periodically.
Nice. Okay. And the last bit of news we got is there is a new, I believe it might be the first, Indiana Jones game coming out. It's going to be titled Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and it's supposed to drop this year. It's a first-person point of view game, and it is set between the years of Raiders of the Lost Ark and The Last Crusade.
No, that'd be dope. If it's done right, it'd be a good time.
First person? I mean, maybe a third person. That would make more sense.
That's what I was.
The whip action, but
that's what I was thinking. I was watching the trailer, and the cutscenes look good, and the acting sounds like a young Harrison Ford. And I was thinking, if this game, it kind of looked like it's Indiana Jones, so it's kind of like what's the
Tomb
what
Raider?
The hell is that video game with the Nick Drake?
Uncharted.
Uncharted. It kind of looked like Uncharted, kind of Tomb Raider adventure.
Yeah, it can be. Yeah, you can do first person.
I don't know, but why not have third person? Like I prefer third person. First person is kind of hard for me personally. A lot of time, I like the peripheral, and I agree with Rich, man. Seeing the whip action, and I don't know.
Yeah, because Indy isn't. And I guess Uncharted wasn't that much either, but he's not like a shoot 'em up.
Oh, wait a minute. I may have misspoke. It can switch from third to first. At least that's what I heard. Okay.
Tyrone knows.
I love Tyrone Magnus.
The trailer I saw only showed first person, so if it can switch to third, that'd be great. I probably will pick it up. And that was the last bit of news.
That was the news.
All right. It's time to get serious. It's time for a debate.
Rich, this is you. Oh.
Let's get ready to rumble.
All right. Today's debate question is going to center around this comic book. It's a series that's dropped. It's called Bishop's War College. And what happens in the comic book is Bishop travels through time and space to a world where all mutants are African, or rather, only Africans have the mutant DNA. So let me read this.
Okay.
Comic book Mutants War World. Bishop travels through time and space to discover a world where the X-Men are Africans. Cyclops, Jean, Wolverine, Professor X, so on and so forth, all of them. In fact, all mutants are only African. The comic's reason for this is because the mutant gene is found only in Africans. In fact, scientists in the comics, when they try to replicate or remove it, they cannot. So my question is this. I want to know, do you think that works? If not, how could you make it better? And if you think it does work, I want to know why you think it works, other than just it's a comic book and anything goes. Tell me why this works or doesn't work.
I think it definitely does work because number one, X-Men has always been an allegory for racism, right? So
Yes.
I think that's to have that gene show up in just Africans, it goes along with the X-Men theme. Number two, we know, and it's going to go, and I'll talk more about this in my recommendations, but there is nationality specific or genetic specific mutations in the real world that's happened. Like Native Americans don't lose their hair. Koreans, a lot of them don't have to wear deodorant because they don't produce the gene that produces the bacteria that makes you smell.
Very
so
true.
there's these things in real life that happen. So obviously, yes, to have superpowers is kind of a far stretch, but to have a nationality specific or genetic specific trait is not far fetched in the real world. So I
That's
think it works.
interesting. Let me follow that by saying this. On a genetic chromosome level, though, there's almost no difference at all. All humans, regardless of race, are 99.999999999% identical on a DNA level. So what this comic book is saying is that that's not true. And so on a scientific level, that doesn't even make sense.
Well, let me do some fake science because I think it
Okay.
works. Here's some fake comic book science.
Go ahead.
A lot of historians would say, like, when you look at the birthplace of humanity, they would say it starts in Africa. I'm
Yeah.
sure it's debated, but we've heard that. So for that, let's just say it's true for the guys of this comic or our new comic. We're pitching a story that they're going to steal and make money off of, guys. So basically what I'm saying is, if the birthplace of mankind is Africa and then it kind of spreads out and traveled and we get these other races, and then we say that the mutation is a gene that all humans have. It's just for some reason these humans jumped into evolution quicker than other ones, right? That mutation gene to be a mutant, according to Jack's science, if we use that, it should be in every single person on the planet. It just doesn't manifest in everyone. So if we're saying humanity starts in Africa, then we can say that evolution would start with the people that are closest to the original.
That's a good logic. Airtight.
So
but by that logic, this comic doesn't work also because the point of origin is still the same for everybody.
Right, but I think.
But you're saying how I can make it work. So I would.
So then let me ask this question. The other reason why it's kind of a little hard for me to go with the way they've justified it is.
Did they justify? You didn't tell us the justification. You just said they just are. Like what? Why?
Yeah.
No, that's how the comic justifies it. It says that the comic's reason for it is that only Africans have the mutant genome.
But why?
So then my next question is, okay, cool, but wouldn't that then mean Scott Summers just isn't a mutant and Logan died in the 1700s?
Instead of making them black.
Right. So if only Africans have that mutant gene to turn into Africans, to turn into mutants, to be mutants, how does it still make sense with the story they're telling? Because we see all the characters but they're all African.
Well, I would say without race changing the characters, I think mine still works. Because if it's an evolution thing, then the people closest to the blood of the originals would jump into evolution first. So over the next million years, possibly everyone on this planet will be mutants.
Yeah.
But it will start with the people that are closest to the original.
Yeah,
and if I was writing this story, I would have like African Americans and everyone who's of African descent, but obviously mixed because we're not all from. We would have like lower level powers. Like we don't actually have because we didn't evolve. We don't have the purest.
Wait! I love this. Wait! So you're saying Africans would have like cool, strong mutant powers,
or no, not necessarily. They would just have the fullness of being a mutant. Sometimes being a mutant was just being green, and you don't have powers. You're just your mutation.
Well, but look at what does happen.
Like, I don't have powers. I'm just different. Does he look like a
yeah, like they can just like I can do what a blowfish does. It's not useful, but
there are a lot of mutants in Marvel that they just have powers, or not even powers. They look like a chicken.
Yeah,
I can turn into a chicken. Okay, what does that do for me?
I mean, if you look at like Jean Grey, who her second evolution, right, is Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're saying that, maybe that group of people are all on their second evolutions while everyone else is kind of catching up to the first.
Yeah, that would be the story. That'd be the story, and my story would be dope because I would have like government agencies hunting down like African Americans or Afro Latinos because their powers haven't manifested, but you can capture them and try to dissect them. You're not dissecting the Africans in Africa because they're like full level mutants. Like you don't want that smoke.
Do you think this story works though?
It's just a multiverse story, or they're just black.
Yeah.
The part of it that doesn't work for me is
not the part I have a
changing
problem
the characters.
Say again?
Why? The part of me that doesn't work for me, since we can't just say, well, it's just comics. There's no reason to make Cyclops black. Just like there's a black dude who has a similar power that Bishop finds.
Are you sure there's not?
He's got him already. Well,
that was quick.
Look, the cover's dope. I'm not gonna lie, the cover's cool, and I picked up the comic hoping. I don't know what I was expecting. I guess what I expected when I picked up the comic and dove into it was they're just in a multiverse setting. And the second the comic tried to justify the choice for the multiverse setting, that's when it I was like, you should have just said nothing. Just don't say anything. But you tried to make it tied to
I doesn't care.
Yeah.
Genetic.
I mean, we're all mutts, Like we're all mutts. We all got something in us, baby.
Nice.
But
Chris, laugh out loud.
Unicorn.
But here's the political
He's
statement
special.
I would say about the comics, which is very interesting. I did a little research. They didn't come up with the reason why only white people were mutants for the first 8 years of mutants in Marvel.
Is that true?
Storm was like the first mutant, and she was like 1973, while the X-Men came out like 1964 or something.
Wow.
T'Challa is the first black superhero.
Right, T'Challa's not a mutant.
In 1966, yeah, but that right. so we never asked the question, why are only mutants white? So I feel like if we got to answer that question first. Why did it take them 10 years to get
Well,
to
I mean, that question's a little easier though, isn't it?
Right. So then I wouldn't ask too many hard questions about why we make them black, because it's still not a fraction of what was done the first 10 years of the X-Men.
I mean, I like the idea. I like switching it up a little bit and changing it. I like the logic, the comic logic to me. It makes sense. Like you have this group of people that's maybe were isolated and they evolved, so it makes sense to me. I could ride with it.
But
it wasn't even that they were isolated. It was just that it originated in Africa, so therefore those close to Africa. But I want to piggyback off of what Lawrence said. Like I like Lawrence's idea of it, but also I was thinking that when they were trying to duplicate this in other races, that those mutations, the ones that were successful, they were like horribly wrong. Like they would turn into like abominations and stuff like that. Like
yeah,
and then they become like the villains.
So you just made all the white people the bad guys.
I mean, white people, Asian, listen, you know what I'm saying?
Everybody else.
Yeah, everybody else, they bad
Hey,
guys.
hey. Nah, I mean, so I guess, Jack, you read the comic. Does them being black have any different ramifications than if they were white in the main continuity? Like, is there a reason beyond cool
No.
artwork?
No, but you think no. But you think like the whole world would operate a little differently.
Well, does it?
No, it's basically just X-Men so black.
Well, then, well, I guess they were already a species that was hated on anyway.
But that's what Chris was talking about, and he's right. You know, X-Men was originally an allegory for race equality and stuff, which is so ironic that none of the characters were really diverse.
Well, and they say that Professor X and Magneto were actually based off of two Jewish men. That the rumor and the gossip is Martin and Malcolm, but I don't think that was their actual take. So I think it might be closer to an allegory of maybe the Jewish American experience, and then it just easily fits into the civil rights of what was going on in the 1960s.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, especially with you see how when Marvel did like the mutant registration stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So easy.
There's just a similar experience between Black Americans and what Jewish people went through. So both sides were able to take that story and make it their own. But it's interesting. Well, I mean, if the comic is paper thin, that's the problem. There's so much they can do there.
Well, I tell you, the one thing I'm upset about is I really wanted to get a.
Is Storm white though in the comic? It's what I want to know. If everybody switched, is she white? I mean,
she's not in the version I have. She's not in this one.
I'd be curious.
But if you look at the cover, it's actually they only have, with the exception of it's like
very heavy, etc. Heavy.
Did we get heavy? All right, we'll move past this.
No, heavy is good.
I mean, look. I mean, it's pretty sick. The artwork is sick, but I think that there's just a awesome Wolverine comic waiting to be made, where he's his origin is slave time.
Thank you, Connie. I want to throw that up every time.
Let's just stop stroking this guy's ego.
Hey.
What was Lawrence's question?
Good in Lawrence is always fine. Don't worry about it too much.
No matter.
Well, Wolverine, Wolverine to me, as a black man, story-wise, has way much more depth than if he's Canadian. No offense to my Canadians out there, but to see a guy go through a time depending on when he was born, like he would have saw I'm free to be myself to I'm being captured and being enslaved to like he would have ran the gamut of the experience of the black experience, being someone that lived so long.
That's kind of what I'm saying. I think Wolverine as a kind of offshoot, standalone.
That was a good question.
He asked about. Oh,
that was a good question.
All right, yeah, sure.
That was valid.
Get out of here.
No, I think Wolverine's got some untapped potential still waiting to be explored in the comic book worlds.
Dude.
All right. Well, I'd say good debate, but we know how this went.
I won. I'm the one that answered the question.
Wow, that's humble. We all agreed
with me.
No, we all agree. I think we all won. But
no, really... Jack didn't actually say if he. You didn't answer the question.
Oh, I don't think it worked for me because they tried to explain it, and the second they tried to explain it, my brain tried to process their explanation in a logical way, and I go,
wait, hold on. Let's just leave this here. Okay.
Accusation right there. Jack was upset that there was too many black people.
That's what it is. Stop it, Rich. Where'd you even get that soundbite from? But Jack, so how would you fix it though? How would you fix it? You didn't answer any of the questions.
Well, in fixing the comic itself, I probably wouldn't try to justify it. I would just let it ride. My problem, my red flag with it was when they tried to justify their choice.
Yeah.
but they didn't do it in a way that is actually tied to real world science.
And it doesn't connect to real world problems, which X-Men is always supposed to be an allegory for. Like, you don't make the X-Men all black unless you're trying to make some type of social statement.
Yeah,
because that's what the X-Men.
Right.
I hear you.
So
so I had to rewrite the whole story.
Yeah, you double down on it instead of skirting it. Night, Jackie boy. Good night, brother. Thanks for joining. That's my older brother.
Yeah, it is.
All right, let's get to the main event.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Sorry.
Why we're here. Still working out the kinks. So today we're talking Reacher Season 2, hence why we had Mac on as a guest, Malcolm Goodwin.
If you want to see that and you're catching this, go catch the part 1 of special guest Malcolm Goodwin.
Go catch part 1. Thank you, Chris.
Our
one
video
more time
got a little messed up.
So let's just dive right into it. I guess let's give our spoiler-free recap real quick. Season 2, Reacher. I'll go first. I mean, if you like Season 1, you get a whole lot more in Season 2.
He's a big boy.
He's gotten bigger.
He got bigger.
Gotten bigger.
He got bigger.
My spoiler free is more so of a question: is this the new Avengers? You know, is this a new Dark Avengers? Or
Jack is not your brother. I'm sure it's probably your niece who hijacks his computer.
Hey, yo, they let her back on. What up there?
Well, superpowers without saying they got superpowers. Anyway,
Rich, it's the 80's all over again.
It is. It scratches that 18 Miami Vice, like Renegade, like that whole,
Renegade.
Remember Lorenzo Lamas? But
Wow.
it scratches that syndicated TV action itch, and that's what
it really does. And this whole season would have been one episode of a 90s show. One episode. A body would have came out in the cold open, and then in the end, things would have blew up and he would have walked away. This would have all been just one episode.
Not looking at the explosion.
Oh, you can't. Come on. That's a rookie move to look at the explosion.
Yeah, cool guy.
Were they looking at the explosion at the end?
That's different. When you fire a heat-seeking missile and you're all drinking
spoiler.
beers. Spoiler. Yo, I was skeptical. Well, no, I enjoyed it at first because I saw Season 1 and I'm like, okay, this is kind of cool thing to throw on. It's not something I'm waiting for. And then somewhere around episode 7 or 6, I just bought into this. Mm-hmm. Like Chris said, I bought into this being the renegade, Dirty Harry, Death Wish, updated thing. And when I bought into that, it took me like a season and a half to buy into it. Stop looking for Jason Bourne. Stop looking for things to be super realistic and just go
stop looking for logic. Yeah.
Throw it away, man. Throw it away. His clothes don't get dirty after a fight. It just is.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie though, it dipped for me after episode 3, 4, and 5 dipped for me. And then it picked back up towards the very end. But it did dip for me a little bit.
Well, we'll get in. I'll get into that more once we go on. But I liked it. And I don't know if they didn't justify serial killers.
No, they were killing for a reason.
The definition of a serial killer, Connie, is someone who has a certain specific profile and hunts that person down. These guys killed everybody.
He had a profile.
It was open season for everyone except for episode 1 and 2. Very problematic.
Episode 1 was freaking Reacher was just beating up black folk.
Wow.
3 fights in episode 1.
You look like you might sell drugs. Let me just punch you in the face.
I'm a podiatrist. I'm just coming back from work. Why me?
Man. Racial profiling's funny.
So, Chris, spoiler free.
No, that was my spoiler free. That it scratches the syndicated TV action itch.
All right, great. So then let's spoil.
Did you give yours, Jack?
Oh, I did. I started.
What did you say?
I said if you like season 1, you like season 2. It's just.
But did you like season 1 and did you like season 2?
Yes.
Okay.
It scratches that 80's violent TV show itch.
Yo, honestly, if you liked Stallone and Schwarzenegger, just real muscled up guys walking into these towns and just blowing everything up and walking out without a scratch.
What else can you ask for? It delivers.
What else can we ask
It
for?
delivers what it promises.
That's it. So let's spoil this thing. We are going to spoil the heck out of Reacher season.
Etc. is hating. He said, "Let's be frank. It was better than Echo."
Yeah,
I mean, that goes without saying.
I'll say this. Echo hit things that Reacher didn't try to hit, and that's why I like Reacher. Like Reacher knew what it was and didn't try to deviate from what it was.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. This show knows its identity. It knows. It almost doesn't take itself too seriously,
but serious enough,
right? Like okay, we get it. Reacher is this muscle-bound genius that picks up clues that no one else can pick up. It's a little bit ridiculous, but I feel like they take it tongue in cheek a little bit, and it just goes, but it doesn't try and like
ground it and then put it into like this. He's crying over it. No,
that's not what this is. He's very one-dimensional, but in a good way. If that can be a thing.
And they're like, we're making this for young to middle-aged to older men who missed the 80s and the 90s. It's very specific for who this is made. They're not trying to get, I think that's what Disney Plus does, etc., is they make these shows and try to make it for everyone. So you kind of water down some stuff. Reacher's for a very specific audience.
Yeah, just blow stuff up and beat people up. That's it.
I feel like Echo was for a very specific audience, but okay.
No, they give you a protagonist who's obviously evil, but they water down all the traits of her being evil because they want everyone to root for her at the end. So they don't actually get into like the details.
But that's the new trend in comic book movies, to take the villain or the anti-hero to make him a hero. Or they take the villain and make them an anti-hero so they can be heroic later.
Right. But in Reacher, they don't do anything to make him heroic. They just make the bad guys really bad.
No,
he
so
doesn't. He just.
Well, you got Robert Patrick, man. Robert Patrick he's in a renaissance. He's fantastic as a bad guy. I love him as like the head CEO type bad guy figure, and this thing delivers what it promises. It tells you to give you meat and potatoes, and it gives you meat and potatoes, and that's it.
No, and no potatoes, all meat, just the meat,
all meat, just steak. Tomahawk steak.
Need to stop.
Okay. Let me give you a real quick. Let me give you a real quick and dirty. Kingpin ain't bad enough.
No, I see. This is where I disagree. He was painted in a universal color in the Echo series, but when you look at what he does, where he beats up an ice cream man for just not giving the girl ice cream, that's pretty terrible.
That's not all he does. That guy makes fun of the girl.
I get it, but there's just certain things she didn't get beat to death for.
I'll tell you the worst thing Kingpin does. He creates an incredible technology and then keeps it to himself and puts it in the trash.
All right, we get it. Echo just didn't make sense. Let's move on.
Okay. Let's
we loved Echo.
All right.
Derailed. Let's talk about Reacher.
All right, so
here's the backdrop of Reacher. Reacher is basically about friends of his start dying from the 110.
110?
And he is called into town to assist on it, and then they just start killing everybody, trying to get to the liquid metal Terminator guy. That's the series. A lot of people get thrown out of airplanes. Now, let's spoil it. We're not going to talk episode by episode. We're just going to
have a whole.
We're going to mess dive this thing.
Yeah, let's get messy. Let's talk. I'll start with my issues because, like I said, there are some issues and tropes that I don't think it needed. I feel like it's tough because I haven't read the books, and I know the books are about his mind. Like he has that Benedict Cumberbatch Sherlock Holmes mind.
That is less evident in season 2. Season 1, very evident.
I agree. Season 1 was full of him solving everything. He does it
right.
a little bit in the early episodes, though.
In this, he just knew it. Like this, we didn't actually get to see him process. He just knew stuff.
You don't deduce.
And that to me is the weaker part of the show. It's like this is where the show kind of needs you to be a little smarter. Unfortunately, where I don't.
That's why season 2 feels so 80s.
But I prefer that because I didn't necessarily buy the Sherlock part of it in season 1 all the way.
Well, here's the other thing I found. This was hard for me going into season 2. In season 1, yes, in the finale they blow everybody up, but up until the finale, there's not that much like frivolous killing. It means something when they take a life in season 1 up until the finale. Then they're just blowing everybody up. In season 2, though, dude, they're just straight murking everybody.
Which I love because in season 1, he's just like kind of figuring out there's something wrong going in here. Season 2, they're dropping his homies out of helicopters.
Yes, but the problem with season 2 for me is they have the cop figure, the head detective figure who's following them, who's fully aware that they're just
they make him dumb when he's obviously not dumb.
Can we talk about how Reacher kicks the car and sets off the airbag?
Great.
Yes. Like, you know the amount of force you need for that? Like what?
The amount of force to catch a gurney going out of a helicopter on an incline?
One hand hold himself. All right, so in the finale, spoiler, they're in the helicopter and the lady is in a gurney and she falls out of the back of the helicopter that's
because
open.
The helicopter's like this.
Because the helicopter's like that.
Going out. That's not.
And Jack Reacher slides and he grabs that thing and
it doesn't pull him out of the helicopter.
Yep. And not only that, he swaps arms. He swaps arms. He goes from one arm, gets the other arm. I was like, ain't no way, boy.
You know who
ain't no way.
Do you guys remember the movie Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yes, he's Commando.
This is Commando, where all of a sudden you have a guy who's jacked, and he's this trained killer, this trained guy, but then he does stuff like picks up the back of a car or does stuff that's like, what kind of movie am I watching? What am I watching?
I'm with that. It's just the parts that they want to make it more espionage is where I'm like, that's not what this is. But
I get the sense that that's really a lot of what the book is.
I think it definitely is.
It is a Sherlock Holmes / a Commando character.
Yeah. And well, the thing is too is that I don't remember season 1. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it was season 1 they had it, but they should just make it a full out mystery. Like, so we can watch him solve something we don't know. Like, who did it?
But the problem with this is they had such a great villain and they wanted to utilize him as much as possible. So there wasn't the mystery. The mystery they tried to make was whether or not Swan was part of the thing or not. But we knew he wasn't because
I'm still not sure because the monologue at the end kind of
the reason we knew Swan wasn't is because the audience identifies with Reacher's point of view. That's the way the content is set up. And so Reacher's point of view was nothing in the world was going to make Swan a villain and conspirator, even though my teammates are on the fence, even though all evidence points to the fact that of course he's part of the villain. I refuse to accept it.
Because I handpicked the 1/10. I handpicked all these guys. I know these guys.
Reacher's perfect.
That's right. Reacher's perfect. And because Reacher's perfect, the one mysterious element was never a mystery for me. We knew at the end of the day, Reacher's point of view was going to be vindicated regardless of how wrong he was.
And I was a little let down by that, but then I also loved it. Because in my mind, of course, Swan is guilty, and we get to see Reacher go through that emotional turmoil. But then I love that Swan wasn't guilty because that's not what the show is. The show is not to watch Reacher sit in guilt. It's not to watch him wonder if he's good. It's not to make him question his abilities. No, you're watching a fully formed superhero never be wrong. Right. Ever. And it's kind of Rich, you watch the movies.
I watched some of them, yeah.
Did you like this, Rich? You're quiet over there.
It was all right. I was like, this dude's like, can we just cut the BS? He's a mutant of some sort. Like he's like somewhere within these flashbacks, he went through some type of government experiment where they enhanced this man's strength because there's no way. Ain't no way.
Enhance his man strength?
Connie, I was thinking that, but Swan may not be a villain in the books. That's the thing too. Some of the stuff we're commenting on is books. But Rich, no, he doesn't have superpowers, but he's 80s strong.
Yeah.
He's 80s strong.
He's 80s strong.
What does that mean? So he
All
has
of us-
he has coke powers. He's
All
powered
of-
by cocaine. Okay, got it.
You acting like you acting like you ain't watch Rambo. And watch this man with a bow and arrow and one gun take down the entire
Cambodian army.
That didn't make him strong. That just
With
made
no
him
shirt on.
proficient with a bow and arrow and a handgun.
But
My
we
guy, he
talked
should
about
have
Commando,
died.
Go back and watch Commando, because Commando is.
I never
Reacher.
watched Commando. I'll be honest with you.
You never watched
Never watched
Commando?
Never watched it. Yeah.
You gotta watch it.
With
It's
Radon Chong. Yes, etc. Rich has been very quiet and he's giving you a wink. He's giving you a wink, Rich.
I don't know what that wink means, but
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't think the series needed to be as long as it was. I enjoyed it, but I didn't feel like the content felt a little repetitive after a while, in the nature of they knew where the villain was for 3 episodes.
I think they could have, and I don't know how, they needed to strengthen the police element. Because that was the thing that slowed it down. Watching the 1/10 try to figure things out and kick butt was always cool. Then we dropped the cops in, the dirty cops, and that's where it kind of got muddy. That's where it kind of, although I love the dude that played the detective, he killed it, but we didn't get a chance to see the ramifications of cops being dirty. They were dirty.
And he
died, and he's
the
captain. He shoots the chief.
So if it was that easy to just shoot the chief because he's bad, it made that part of the story that took up so much time it didn't have any longevity, and yeah, I don't know, that was the part that slowed it down for me.
Was Reacher stabbed in the arm?
Stabbed in the arm? I know he was cut and he had to stitch himself up. I think he was like sliced in the chest or the stomach, something like that.
But his arm was wrapped. His arm was wrapped at the end.
It was wrapped?
Yeah, his arm was wrapped at the end. So when he was holding the gurney,
he don't feel pain the same way we do.
Is it 80's action rules, Jack? You get shot, you're like, I'll be okay, and that's it.
Yeah. The woman was stabbed in the arm at the end, and the other dude got shot.
The woman was stabbed in the arm with the dude's.
That part, the end also kind of like messed me up a little bit, because when you have the villain monologue, the whole plan while the guy's tied up, it's very old school Batman 66.
It's 80's, man.
But the issue was you're punching Reacher in the face so he can tell you where like Neely is, right? But he already knows you're going to kill all of them. So you need better torture devices punching this man in the face when he knows you're just going to drop us out of a helicopter. What incentive do I have to tell you where she is when you already told me you're about to kill all of us? So I needed Reacher's torture to be like, I'm torturing you in a way where you wished you would die. Not this guy can take punches to your hands are hurting worse than his face is by punching him.
You can't torture a man that can set off an airbag with a simple kick. There's no torturing that man.
Now,
you could put stuff in his fingernails.
Or torture, like you hang. We see a freaking Lethal Weapon 1. You got him hanging and you just electrocuting him, like stuff.
That's right. They're sitting pretty comfortably on these chairs.
I mean, and
you think you'd at least wear like gloves if you're gonna punch someone bare knuckle punch.
Well, there are freaking. We know there's brass knuckles in the room because they showed it to us, but I guess we don't need that. Etc. says they needed more of a John Wick feel.
It's different. I think Reacher, John Wick is like a scalpel, and Reacher's like a axe.
Baseball bat.
But I wouldn't mind them playing their injuries.
A blunt object. Yes.
I wouldn't mind them playing their injuries a little bit more.
No, realistically, Lawrence, you're right. But I think in this world, in this universe, they can't. You gotta get shot in the shoulder, like
and we having sex tonight.
Yeah, exactly. That's an aphrodisiac for you. Like, let me take off my face.
Ain't nothing to get stabbed in the gut. Yeah, I actually do like it. I like it.
Oh, speaking of getting stabbed in the gut, the assassin, the guy at the beginning, like he took that little 2-inch knife and shivs the homeboy in the stomach, and my man just dies. He just keels over and dies. Just
immediately.
No way.
And that assassin
dude must have hit the right spot.
That assassin dude didn't, like, the way they were building him up. It did not pay off.
No, he was like
did not.
he was so weak at the end though.
It almost like I'm just the money guy. I'm like, no, you're not. You're like a savage assassin. What do you
You
mean?
were
You're
killing
just
everyone that you can. The first one, the trooper, when he came across the PA trooper, and I was like, wait, just let that ticket go,
it
ma'am. You don't
didn't.
need that ticket
Like
right now.
it's fine. It's fine.
It's like, oh, it's your rental car? Okay, you don't know about the law? No problem. Just take it off there and make sure that's it. She just had to pursue that. I was like, oh man, she
let
gonna
it
die.
go.
She
But
gonna
what
die.
I did love is, but then the other side, I feel like he was kind of wasted. But I love that he was wasted. I love that in the end they were like, who is this guy? And they all just shoot him dead like it's nothing.
Yo!
Like it's nothing.
So cool.
Part of you was like, I didn't see that coming.
It's like the Indiana Jones one where all the guys are going crazy. He just takes out the gun and just shoots him.
That's it. He was like, I find that guns, Reacher shoots him in the gut. And they're like,
Yeah.
I'm like, that's a cool interrogation tactic, Reacher. Nope.
Nope.
They all like lit him up. By the end, I was like, I need a whole 1/10 prequel. Like, I need to see these guys go on missions where it's just
But they weren't.
ruthless.
But the 1/10 prequel is not the 18. They're not going on missions like that.
They did go on missions. They had
Well,
missions.
That
Look,
flashback, it just seemed like it was just one mission. They
thought
were put
they-
together for this one thing, and then it was disbanded.
But
That's what it felt like.
But they had like probably mini missions that built up to like the actual thing. And it was the
It seemed
18.
like
They're this
it.
off the grid part of the
Yeah.
military that
I need those references like, oh no, this is Paraguay all over again. I can watch this.
yes. I need
prequel
at the
series.
very end of the series before we get into the action scene for Reacher to say it ends tonight. Like I need like,
I need those one-liners.
I need those like those cliches. I need the villain to monologue at the end and tell us how it all works. I'm with Chris. Once you accept it, it's a good freaking time. If you don't accept it, that's fine. But once you accept it,
No, if you and I'll say this: if you resist it, it doesn't work at all.
No, of course
'Cause
not.
it took me
Yeah.
like three. It took me like 3 episodes to agree that this world season 2 is not the same as season 1. It's just not. The death, the consequences
I'll
are
tell
very
you
different.
what. We had Malcolm on before. Malcolm gave so much depth to season 1. His character was way
we
more
dealt with the dude dealing with like taking his ring off, his marriage. Like, yeah, we
Yeah.
actually had.
Yeah.
Reacher lost his brother, and he's like, "Oh no, my brother died. Let me figure it out." In this season 2, he lost all these guys from his team, and he never shows any remorse. All he has is revenge. All he has is anger, revenge, and an occasional horniness, and that's it.
An occasional horniness.
But he never pursued it. Like she went at like what is he supposed to do? What is he supposed to do? She showed up. I'm just lying down. Anyway,
But at this accelerated level, if you look at season 1 to season 2, that kind of accelerated growth as far as what the content turned into, I think by season 4 we are looking at the equivalent of kind of what happened with Fast and the Furious over the 12 movies.
but let me throw this in here, and I don't know if this is their plan, but I don't mind every season feeling different, even tonally. Like each season in each book, same character, but we're allowed to paint the world a little differently. So the next season we can get more straight up mystery.
He's
No,
gonna fly.
not
He's going to shoot.
no.
He's going to shoot laser beams out of his eyes.
First
Yeah.
season is loner walks into town, kind of Wild Wild West. Second season is straight up 80s action movie. Third season, straight up
He buys
murder
a
mystery.
house.
He buys.
No,
he
he's not buying
no, they can't buy a house, Rich.
He
Now
can't
you're
buy a
going too
house.
far. He buys boots.
Come on.
He buys boots. But like each season can.
I would
be
buy
stand
that.
on its
I think-
own thing.
I think that'd be really. I think that could actually really work, and you let the content of the books kind of dictate the story, obviously. But I don't get this feeling like that's the way this industry tends to operate.
No,
Or
it's gonna be more explosions. It's gonna be more bad
Yeah.
guys dying.
But
It's
remember
gonna
what
be-
remember what Malcolm said. They made season 1 during the pandemic, so that restricts everything. Your budget's restricted. The amount of action you wanted to do that you planned to do got restricted. Like everything got restricted. So who knows? Season 1 might have been way more bigger and action packed.
Every now and again, Lawrence says something pseudo intelligent, and that's one of them.
It's more than every
Get
now
out
and
of here.
again. Because guess
Anyway.
what? Hey, just for
Lawrence,
All right, you know what?
whatever. Where'd you even
Get out of
find
here.
that?
no, I have access to everything. And
No, but that's such a good point, though. That may be why the story was a
Wow,
little
that's
more
humble.
intimate.
thank you. Where'd you get that, Rich?
I've been at it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we were watching. So who knows what it was supposed to be? So maybe season 2 is like finally we can get to do what we wanted to do, as far as the scale of it. I don't know. I don't know. I do like season 2 better than season 1. I'll tell you that much.
I like the way season 2 wrapped up, but I think season one didn't dip for me. Season 1 was more consistent than season 2 was.
Yeah, I agree. Season 1 had a little more heart, a little more progression. Season 2 definitely had a lot more explosions.
I liked Reacher in season 2. I like the other. I like Malcolm's character. I like the police department. I liked how the world responded to Reacher better in season 1.
Right.
But I like Reacher as this freaking Schwarzenegger guy. I like him better in season 2.
I might actually agree with that. I think I like the world better in season 1, but Reacher seemed more. No, I don't know if I agree with that actually, because there was something nice about the way Reacher is restricted in season 1 and has to not just go around blunt object killing everything. And so because there was the Malcolm figure, Max figure in season 1, Reacher wasn't just a loose dog blowing everything up.
Right.
He was a little more sleuthing it out, putting the pieces together, which was maybe a little more interesting to me.
But what I did enjoy by the end is that family, baby. Like that 1/10. Like, I was feeling the 1/10. Like, even the end at the bus, like him and Neely, like we had 2 seconds of Neely in season 1, and we were wondering, like, who is this? And like, and we kind of get to see like the people he brought together. Swan playing guitar and all them people. He chose these people specifically. So I'm like, yo, these are all elements of probably your personality that we don't get to see. There's a reason you didn't just choose them because there's a lot of great people at what they do, but you chose people who harmoniously work well together. So I'm getting insight into who you are as a person. I don't know. I like the group. I like that team. And he needed help, and he asked for help. We saw him need help.
Yeah, he did.
We didn't get that in season 1. Every now and then, and eventually he needed it. But like, he had a team where he's like, "I need you to do this," and would you watch my back when I go in? Like, he knew, like,
but he trusted these guys though.
I like the evolution of that. I wouldn't want to see another season 1 of him walking into a town. Like, you can't do that again.
What do we think season 3 is going to be?
Another murder mystery. I think so. So
whatever
season
the book
1.
is.
Season 1, he lost his brother. Season 2, they went after his team. Season 3, I think he's going to interact with some random person, A-Team style. He's going to interact with some random person. He's going to have to solve a mystery and help, some random person out. It could be any.
It's going to follow the books.
There's 26 books? There's 26 books?
Yeah, it's a lot of. It's 28 books. Yeah. So there's a chance your story.
But they're not doing. They're probably not doing the books in order of the books.
No,
you don't have to really.
Oh yeah, you don't think you need to.
You can do what you can do whatever
But they're not. But I think a big thing is they don't deviate much from the books. That's why like Reacher fans are all over this series, because they really do respect the source material, and even if they change a little bit, they're doing the book, or might grab elements of a couple books. But Reacher fans are like, this is so faithful. I like Neely. She was the best part of season 2. I mean, she kind of became the heart of the team.
I was gonna say she is the heart of the team. Yeah.
And I love the end. They're all at the diner and they're like coffee black, and she asked for a bowl of cereal. And the chocolate milk. I'm like, stop! Like, just because y'all killers don't mean you can't have a milkshake. Stop playing around. I loved it.
When they were in the house and they were asking what she wants to eat, and she like there's various cereals in that order, like Puffs, Choco, whatever. I was like, yeah.
She eats like a child. I love
she
it.
does. Yeah.
But I have a question, maybe a little off topic. Reacher is massive.
That's a
I
big
wouldn't
boy.
think his breakfast is just coffee black.
No, it's
Well,
meat
he's
and
having a
gunpowder.
special kind of sandwich.
Well, that's Chris. Now
I mean,
here's the
you
thing.
have to expect this guy to order half of the menu, you know?
Here's the thing about Reacher. For everyone that wants to know, like all he wanted was like pie, right? Last season, like he wanted that peach pie.
That's
Don't we
right.
all, baby?
We all want some
We want
pie.
a little pie.
Hey, yo.
But how big he is and how strong he is lets you know the kind of show you're watching. Because to be that big and that strong means you're eating a lot of calories
Like a
and
horse.
you're training all the time. So since we don't see him doing any of that, it's letting you know this is a fantastical world. There's a suspension of disbelief required for this show because his clothes don't get too dirty. As big as he is, he always finds his size at these thrift shops.
Really? Like what?
You know, and that suit, like, you know, that suit fit him like custom made when they had them suits. I'm like,
You got
what?
a bespoke suit.
Didn't they go
Well, no,
get
well,
them?
yeah, they got them. They got those
Yeah, they
suits
went-
tailored.
No. When you're that big, you don't get a suit. You have to get it made. When you are 6'5", 265 pounds.
That's what tailoring is
No.
getting it made.
No, you would have to get measured, and you
You
come
have to
back
change
in a
it.
week.
Yeah,
You have to change the
because-
structure of the
Oh,
jacket.
I get what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
He's too big for them just to like, we're just going to fit this to
They
you.
can't just bring it.
Right.
They can only bring it in so much. That they have to change the structure of the jacket itself.
Yeah. He was bitten by a radioactive spider and is a mutant. No, man, I think he's just drinking that 80's juice, baby.
And a little bit of cocaine.
Hey.
I was going to say, but no, yeah. So in real life, he would not walk everywhere because he would lose muscle mass with all that
Yep.
cardio.
Mm.
He'd be eating probably like 5,000 calories.
At
He's like, at least if he's 265. Bulk of that's protein. So that's like, how much money are you spending on food, Reacher, with nothing in your
He's
money?
meal prepping. He
No
has
money.
Tupperware
You out here borrowing money. You can't afford that. You can't afford to
Nah.
live like that.
And
and his gear. His gear's gonna cost.
So wait,
Stop it,
are
Chris.
you telling me?
Accusations.
Are you telling me a more physically accurate Reacher would be something that looks like Slender Man?
it would be, you know how Tom Hanks looked in Forrest Gump at the end of running around for 3 years? That's what Reacher would look like.
So Tom Cruise wasn't so far off.
No.
Oh, that's
'Cause
interesting.
But in the book, he is this behemoth, so it's like letting you like suspend your disbelief here,
Yeah.
you know. But dude, like it costs a lot of money to be that big.
Facts.
It's a lot of groceries.
Well,
Okay.
what have we missed? That's pretty much the whole series, wasn't it?
That is the whole series.
I thought it was funny, like only his gun ran out of bullets.
But it
Like,
didn't. He never actually gave it up.
But he would hold on to his gun with no bullets.
No
because
bullet.
he needed to go punch and throw people around. So,
But like no one else's guns ran out of bullets. Only
Yeah.
his. He get like 3 shots off. Doesn't work. I'm like,
But they
no one
always
else could
check
throw
it.
people through walls. So that's
you're right. You're
They just
right.
need an excuse for him to show off the strength. That's what it is.
I thought that the bad
How about
guys.
when he grabbed on that helicopter? All right.
he grabbed it to the
Let
tire.
me tell you this.
But I need a little bit like you wrapped your arm around like fingertips.
No, fingertip. Like fingertip.
On the
And-
wheel, not even
He
like
can
the
jump
bike.
like
No, wait. It gets better than that though, Lawrence. It's fingertips on the wheel that when the gate like the wheel's here and then the back of the helicopter does this. How'd he get to over here?
Man,
I don't know.
I think in the back you saw him swing his leg up, but they never shows you what it connected to.
Okay,
Like he
let me-
swung his leg up and they cut out the shot.
Having been the only one of us that's gone skydiving, I'll tell you, things are moving pretty quick when you're on an object like that. I mean,
Yeah.
This is Reacher. This is Reacher.
I don't know how possible I think that might be.
It's
I
not.
mean, it's not.
It's not. There was
not.
no way for him to first of all to grab on. Okay, you got onto the wheel, but to make your way to the back of the helicopter, what?
Yeah.
And then climb up through it.
He's also injured, been beat up.
He's just running around. He doesn't sleep properly, and he's not. You look at these mountain climbers or these extreme climbers. They're thin, they're tall, they're lanky. They're not 260 jacked. So
and it's also nighttime, so you have limited vision. You can't see
he did a
well.
quick bump of booger sugar before he left that factory, and he was out there. He was
Ray,
like, I got
stop with the booger sugar, baby.
this. He was like, hey.
Nah, and like the bad guy actually did mess this up for me a little bit before. But he was just too, not the actor's performance, but the idea of him was too like, why are you dropping people out the helicopter? There has to be like easier, inconspicuous ways to get rid of people. Like I didn't understand.
He's like,
especially
in Scarface.
But in his monologue is where it let me down. Because it'd be one thing if it's like we're sending a message or some type of thing, but in the end, he's like, we're trying to get away from everything. Swan almost messed it up. Like it almost sounded like, oh, you don't want people to know you exist. You want to get your money in. So then why are you making such a spectacle?
Right.
You think, what do you think people are gonna think happened to this body? It's just it's like smashed. and I'm sorry, I know Reacher's a great detective, but I'm sure a lot of detectives could have figured that out. Like it didn't just take Reacher going, he must have fell from this height. It's like, look at him.
He's not the only one though.
Huh?
And he's not an isolated case either.
No. So
they just dropping bodies out of helicopters.
And not even like in places that they won't be found.
Right.
So that kind of like the plausibility of the bad guy's plan. I still need it to be like Die Hard plausible. It works.
Well, they needed the body so they can know that, okay, my guy's dead. Because realistically, they were what? That facility was in Rockland County, so the nearest body of water is what, the Hudson River.
The helicopter felt. Yeah.
Strap some chains on homeboy. Drop him over the Hudson. And
I'm in the Palisades Mall having a cheesesteak, and I'm like, where did he come from? You know they drop him in Spring Valley, Rich.
Oh, you know it's in Spring Valley.
Oh,
100%.
Ain't no one saying nothing.
You know,
Bear Mountain, one of those two.
Bear Mountain.
A fun fact about suicides off the Tappan Zee Bridge or the Maricopa Bridge.
Are
we allowed to say that word?
It's too late. Self-delete.
Yeah. It's actually not that deep. So when people jump, they actually get stuck. They fall and they get stuck in the mud. So they survive the fall and they drown because they get stuck in the mud.
Why?
Okay.
Where did this come from?
I was there after a guy.
No, not like where did this come from in this talk?
We were talking about Rockland County. We're talking about dropping people in Rockland County.
No.
So they'd have fallen out of the airplane into a mud pit.
And they just get stuck in the mud.
Okay. Yeah, the bad guy's plan in the end, I don't honestly really remember what it was. So these missiles and Swan was I don't remember. And I feel like I should remember. Bermuda. I should have remembered. I don't remember the bad guy.
He was trying to make it quick. He has $1 billion enterprise that he was trying to shut down so he could make a buck and go to Bermuda.
I don't get it.
Like this guy's facilities, he needed the money like that?
And it's just his accent. Yeah, it just felt. I don't know. It felt that part felt a little too thin for me, and I think that would have supported the cop part of the story if the bad guy part of the story was much more plausible or made sense But I liked it.
Yeah,
I liked it a lot.
I did like it. That's true.
I buy all of it.
About it. It's the kind of content you can sit here all day and poke holes in because it's the kind of content it is, but it also kind of works for what it is really well.
And it gives you a break. You know? Yeah. Like I'm watching, like I've been talking about, The Brothers' Son. If you want to sit there and come up with all the reasons why it's not realistic, it's like, suck the fun out of it if you want to.
Hey, yo.
Hey. But, like, it's a good time. Just turn your brain off for a second. It's not so stupid you feel like an idiot watching it. It's not like watching freaking the Power Rangers, although Power Rangers is amazing, but you know what I'm saying. It's a good freaking time, man. Yeah. If you can believe Bruce Willis, this average freaking guy, took down a group of terrorists while going down buildings while his
And
feet are.
the greatest Christmas movie ever made.
Yeah, let's not go there. Okay, just leave that. Yeah, exactly. Leave that alone.
You and me, Chris.
It's just as plausible as Bruce Willis's feet shredded with glass and able to do everything he did in that movie.
Get out of here!
Exactly. It's just that plausible. It's 80s plausible.
Yes.
Yippee-ki-yay, baby.
That should have been the line. That should have been the line.
Yeah, that's gonna be mine. I'm gonna be in Reacher season 3, and I'm gonna be the other jacked. I'm gonna be I'm Black Bleacher. I'm gonna be in there.
Bleacher.
This is my cousin Bleacher, and I'm gonna get just as big as him. So
Better start eating now.
Yeah, well, you better start doing something.
Yeah.
Although
I am bigger than Alan Richardson was before he started training for Reacher, so that'll give me a leg up.
You can do it. 6 months.
30 pounds of muscle, 6 months.
You can go on the same diet he's on.
Hey, I love him.
On that note, so any last thoughts on Reacher?
Yo, this is like, if you're our age or younger, like this is your dad's favorite genre. All right. When you came in and you saw your dad watching Death Wish, when you saw him watching what is Chuck Norris doing? Taking everybody down. How? Don't ask too much. With one freaking roundhouse kick took down the whole army. This is what this is. This is Reacher getting
action orgasm.
It's an action 80s orgasm. And yes, Reacher gets into fights, and yes, he gets bloodied, and not a single one of the hairs on his head moves out of being perfectly combed. Yes.
That should be the name of this half of the video, since it's 2 segments. It should just be
action orgasm.
Action orgasm parentheses Reacher. I'm gonna make that, and that's what it is. But it's not as It's not buffoonery. It's not Last Action Hero. Right. What they're making fun of. It's not that.
True.
But it is. It is what Last Action Hero is.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
Like if Reacher had fallen in a tar pit in this series, he probably would just wipe the tar off.
Absolutely, 100%.
Absolutely. Because in this series, bullets did stop when it hit glass if you were hiding behind it.
Right.
Because that's how it works. I love it.
Yeah.
I'm an 80s kid, though. I wonder how younger people would like it.
So, Reacher season 3, we'd be coming back for.
I'm coming back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We don't typically... Do we rank? I guess we do.
We can rank because we saw the whole season.
Yeah.
And he's only going to get bigger.
He's only going to get bigger.
And oiled up.
Okay. I think that's your guy. He's going to be oiled up in season 3.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so let's
Baby
rank
oil,
this thing
head to
then.
toe.
Should we rank this thing?
Sure.
There was also nudity in season 1, which is interesting. Mm-hmm.
Who's naked?
Roscoe, the cop.
Oh.
Why?
Brief.
Don't know. It doesn't feel like it's that kind of show, but it was in season 1.
Certainly not in season 2.
No, season 2 felt like it's not that kind of show. But season 1, they threw it in there. I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like it fit right. So in this season, where he really, he's getting it in. We don't actually see a love scene.
Mm-hmm. True.
We cut out of it. So I thought that was interesting that they kind of pulled back from that when they didn't pull back from it as much in season 1.
That happens in first episodes of content sometimes, and it happens a lot in first seasons where you see it less in the seasons that go on. And sometimes I feel like it's just it's a rating viewership thing. Like if we can push the envelope enough, then we'll get that. And what they didn't have in season 1 was a lot of explosions. So if you can't have explosions, let's have sex.
What I think it is you've seen, and this is a derail, and we'll rate this thing. But in Game of Thrones, right, the actor that played Daenerys Targaryen was nude all the time.
Yeah.
The actor gets more stock on the show, gets more power. I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah, that's true.
So season 1, the actress on the show, of course they talk to her, but season 2, this actress, she's been in a lot of stuff. She probably could say no and it's fine. But like usually that's why, but when seasons go on, it's because those actors are like, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
Or get a body double.
Yeah. Damn, Lawrence has 2 good
Hold
points.
on. Hold that thought.
Yeah.
Here we go. Thank you, Kanye
Hey!
Alaska. This got a
Get
lot
out
of
here.
mileage out of this comment.
He's just like, he's just trying for those sound bites. All right, here we go. Let's rank this thing. I'll give it. I think it's a 6. It's not. It's fun for what it is, but what it is a 6.
I will also double on that. I'll give it also a 6 because it not getting too deep into it was entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah.
I give it a 7. I give it a 7.
I'm giving it a 7 with Chris. It did what it set out to do.
It delivered.
And accomplished what it set out to do pretty well.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. So the math on that's pretty easy. We give it a 6.5.
6.5, staying alive.
Yeah.
And that's pretty fair for the content. I think so. All right.
All right.
So
But if the producer asks about me to be in season 3, y'all tell him
It's
I
a
gave this a 10. Yeah,
It's a
stop
10.
playing around. Playing with my money, man. No, playing with my money.
10. Yes, and that's the industry. Let's not be too honest. Now, Chris, you want to hit us with some recommendations?
So let me go back to my list. So
Sebastian be on cue.
Yep.
I love it.
So we were talking about. I'm not going to bore you with the exact scientific specifics, but my recommendations come from our debate and what actual real life mutations I would like to have if I were to be a realistic mutant. So there's actually real life mutations that affect people that make them almost superhero adjacent. So there's one mutation where it increases your bone density, and your bones are almost unbreakable when it comes to like falls and stuff like that. I'd want that.
What's the negative?
It's got a name.
Having that,
you're a lot heavier.
Yeah, you're a lot denser, and you may not be able to produce.
Swim.
I don't know. It may affect your bone marrow.
But
it might also affect like if your body's carrying around extra weight. That can also.
So wait, there's another mutation that you increase dense muscle mass way more than a normal person would. The downside of that is that your skeletal system can't support that so much additional muscle mass, where some people have issues where they actually tear their muscles away from their bone structure because it's too much for their bones to support.
So you combine those two?
Okay.
I would combine those two.
But at a certain point, that dude is strong.
That dude,
like before it gets into like it hurting him, he has a nice sweet spot where he is just
exactly.
Or she, but she may not. But she may not like it.
There's another mutation that's found in women where they have ultra vision. It's funny because the mutation is only found in women where their vision is they can see hues of light and color that the normal person can't see.
Wow.
Okay. There was actually a Spartan in the book in the game. Actually, Kelly, she was a sniper. She had good vision. Yeah. So Halo. Talking about Halo.
He may have that mutation.
But about
they probably do.
The bone density probably can't, and the muscle mass.
What?
Okay, and the last one I got is there's another mutation that you're not sleepy, and when you do sleep, you get the full benefits of a full night's sleep of only a couple hours.
Your whole body.
Your whole body.
What about your brain?
They say it's called like the sleeplessness mutation, where you can only sleep for a couple hours and you're fully recharged.
You don't want to sleep?
I mean, it would be nice to be able to stay up super late and not wake up groggy. You sleep 2 hours and you feel like you slept a full night's worth of sleep.
I would love that right now.
Yeah.
But I wonder if that.
Corey says he. I have that.
You might have that, Corey. You never know.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I wonder if because part of the thing about sleeping is you got to get into a deep enough REM cycle where your brain kind of clears out the toxins and stuff and reboots itself properly.
But if your body can produce the hormones to do that quicker, more efficiently, then you don't need that time.
Man, that'd be a nice one.
You jump right into REM, and your body automatically does the
let's go.
The serotonin thing or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, who wouldn't want a couple extra hours on their day?
Sleep is for old folk. Yes, this is your niece, I think.
He's deboed the phone.
Yep, and that's it. Those are my recommendations.
I wouldn't want any of
A
those.
little bit of research.
I wouldn't want any of those.
You wouldn't want to get
No,
I
that
want to sleep.
I actually want to sleep.
Yeah, you can still sleep. You can still sleep
because then my wife is gonna go, "Oh, you don't need that much sleep." Okay, it's good. Because
wow,
yeah.
No, you just go into bed and just play your game under the covers.
Exactly.
Or do some work under the sheets, just like. And when she comes in, you just act like sleeping.
She doesn't come in, Rich. We're married. She sleeps in there.
She's right next to Yeah, right.
All right, good recommendations. Should we wrap this up?
Yeah, Bash, before we go, Bash want to show off some of his vintage Joes.
Well, let me give you the spotlight, Bash.
So, I have good ones. I'm saving the best for last.
Go ahead, show them up.
Okay.
That's vintage, you said?
Yeah. This is that guy's 1989, I believe.
What's on his head?
Oh, nice.
It's a helmet that comes on and off.
Pulls off the whole head.
Nice.
Cool. Go ahead, show the next one because we gotta go.
Well, wait, which one's that called? Who's that called?
I forgot that dude's name.
Okay, next.
Roadblock.
Nice.
All right.
That's the Rock's character, right? In the
Yes.
G.I. Joe
Yeah.
2.
So this one came out in This figure came out early 2000s.
I was gonna say.
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. This is the most recent Hall of Fame one that just came out a couple years ago. The last wave of 3 and 3.25.
I was gonna say his arms have a lot more definition than some of those early figures.
Heavy duty. This one came out early 2000s. So this was there was a series that came out. It was a 2-pack series, and this guy came out in the 2-pack series.
So that's the gun.
It's crazy that we're calling early 2000s vintage now.
Like, right? It's crazy.
23 years ago. 24 years ago. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And then the last one. Show the last one.
It's for best.
This is
Best.
Tomax. Remember Zamar and Tomax, the twin?
Oh,
yeah.
This is the original. This one I think is from 1986.
Don't they change color in the water?
I'm not sure if this one does, but this is an original 80s Joe.
Okay.
Nice.
So what we'll do is we'll buy them.
Are you doing the eBay thing?
Yeah,
We'll buy
eBay
you.
and Macari. So what I have a bunch of O-rings here
Hey.
and a bunch of screws and a bunch of G.I. Joe parts. So what we'll do is we'll buy them and then we'll
Fix them.
Yeah, we'll fix them up.
Yeah, Connie Alaska said, we be old, Rich. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Etc. said,
That's
dang,
all we got, Jack.
way to make us all feel old. Hey, we're not old.
Also, if you don't
We just,
subscribe, I'll
Wait.
explode your head.
Well, Bash, thanks for showing your toys. You want to help us close this out?
Yep. Same bat time, same bat channel. Oh, I forgot.
Subscribe, like,
Yo,
comment.
3 bros, feel the flow. It's untouchable. I'm sitting here in my home.